When you wake up in the morning and look around at your life, do you feel a deep ache that whispers, asterisk, there's got to be more than this, asterisk, you're tired of checking your bank account and feeling that not in your stomach tighten every single time? You're exhausted from telling yourself, asterisk, and next month will be different, asterisk, but watching the same bills pile up, the same paychecks stretch too thin, and your dreams gather dust on a shelf you hardly dare to look at anymore. Some people will tell you it's just the way life is, that some people have it and some people don't, but deep down, you know that's not the whole truth. There is another way, but it demands that you wake up, stand up, and fight back against the beliefs that keep you broke, the habits that drain your pockets, and the excuses that lull you into staying exactly where you are. Most people stay broke not because they lack money, but because they lack the mindset that attracts it. They stay broke because they surround themselves with others who are broke in spirit, who laugh at ambition and mock discipline. They stay broke because they're afraid to do the uncomfortable thing, to walk alone for a while, to say no to what feels good now for what will feel great later. But if you're listening to this right now, I know something about you. You're not like most people. You wouldn't be here if something inside you didn't refuse to settle for crumbs when you know you were born for more. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have a fire that the world couldn't quite put out. No matter how many disappointments you've faced, most people who stay broke don't realize that the real poverty is not in their wallets but in their minds. The first thing you have to do is break free from that scarcity mindset that has been drilled into you since you were a child. You've heard people say money doesn't grow on trees, or that rich people are greedy, or that it's noble to struggle. You've been taught to fear wealth as if it will corrupt you, when the truth is, money only makes you more of who you are. If you're kind, it amplifies your kindness. If you're generous, it multiplies your generosity. But if you keep telling yourself there's never enough, you will keep creating situations where there is never enough. You must begin to train your mind to see possibilities instead of problems, to focus on solutions instead of setbacks. You have to talk to yourself every day and remind yourself that you are worthy of abundance, that wealth is not for a chosen few. It is for those who choose it with their actions and thoughts. Surround yourself with books, ideas, and people who think big, who talk about opportunities instead of gossiping about other people's failures. Get clear about what you want and start acting like someone who already has it. When your mind changes, your decisions change. And when your decisions change, your results change. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop buying things you can't afford to impress people who don't even notice. You stop playing small just to fit in with people who are comfortable being broke. You start seeing money as a tool, not a problem. You start understanding that abundance is your birthright if you're willing to claim it and protect it with the way you think. Look around at the people you spend the most time with and ask yourself one simple question: are they lifting me higher or are they holding me down? It's not just about who's nice or who's fun to hang out with. It's about who pushes you to grow, who makes you uncomfortable in the best way because they won't let you stay stuck in your excuses. If you're always surrounded by people who complain about money, who think rich people are crooks, who believe the only way to get ahead is to get lucky, then guess what? That thinking seeps into you like poison in your coffee. You don't even notice it at first. But over time it dulls your hunger, it quiets your ambition, it makes you settle for a paycheck that barely pays the bills and a life that never stretches you to see what you're really capable of. If you want to stop being broke, you need to find people who talk about ideas, not other people. You need to spend time with those who are building something, who are willing to wake up early and stay up late to chase what they believe in. These are the people who will remind you what's possible, who will challenge you when you slack off, who will make you see that your excuses are too small for the life you say you want. Sometimes this means you'll outgrow old friends. Sometimes it means you'll have to stand alone for a while until you find your new circle. But better to be alone and focused than surrounded by small minds that drain your energy and keep you broke in spirit and in wallet discipline is the bridge between wanting to be wealthy and actually becoming wealthy. It's easy to dream about more money, to fantasize about the big house, the fancy car, the freedom to travel whenever you want. But none of that happens without the small, boring, consistent actions you choose every single day. It's not the lottery ticket mentality that builds wealth. It's the daily decision to live below your means, to invest instead of waste, to say no to distractions that promise pleasure now but steal your progress later. Most people think they need to make more money, and sometimes that's true, but more often than not, it's not what you make, it's what you keep and how you multiply it. Discipline means setting a budget and actually sticking to it, even when your friends want you to come out and spend money you don't have. Discipline means waking up early to work on your side hustle instead of scrolling your phone for hours and calling it rest. Discipline means you stop lying to yourself about why you're broke and start taking responsibility for every dollar that slips through your fingers. It's choosing to read a book about wealth building instead of watching shows that add nothing to your life. It's putting money aside for emergencies and investments before you buy the new shoes or the shiny gadget that loses value the moment you swipe your card. Wealth is built in the shadows, in the moments no one sees, when you choose the uncomfortable option again and again until it becomes your new normal. You train your habits to serve you instead of sabotage you. You prove to yourself that you can be trusted with small amounts, so you can be trusted with more if you really want to break free from being broke. You have to become more valuable in the marketplace, and that means you must invest in your skills and knowledge like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Too many people settle for the same paycheck year after year, complaining about not getting a raise or promotion, but they never stop to ask themselves if they've become more skilled, more knowledgeable, or more indispensable to their field. Money flows to value, and value comes from what you know and what you can do that others can't or won't do. That means reading books, taking courses, finding mentors, watching how successful people operate, and modeling those habits in your own life. It means being humble enough to admit you don't know everything and hungry enough to learn what you don't know. Maybe you work a job right now that doesn't pay you what you're worth, but what are you doing after hours? Are you building a skill that can get you a better job, start a business, or create a stream of income that pays you long after you stop working? Every dollar you spend on real education, not just degrees but real usable skills, comes back to you tenfold if you apply what you learn. Stop looking at learning as a chore and start seeing it as your ticket out of financial struggle. When you know more, you can do more. When you can do more, you can charge more. When you can charge more, you can save more, invest more, and build wealth that no one can take from you. The world doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards people who make themselves too skilled to ignore. Most people stay broke because they spend their whole lives avoiding discomfort, playing it safe and doing only what feels familiar. But if you want to change your financial reality, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to take actions that scare you, that stretch you, that make you question if you're really cut out for this. You have to be willing to do what most people won't do so you can live how most people can't live. That means asking for the raise even when your voice shakes, starting the business even when you don't have it all figured out, making the sales call even when you fear rejection. It means putting your work out into the world knowing some people will criticize it. It means learning new skills that frustrate you at first, showing up when you're tired, and doing it again tomorrow when no one is clapping for you yet. The uncomfortable actions are where the growth happens. It's where you prove to yourself that you're not the same person you used to be. It's where you break the pattern of quitting when things get hard. It's where you learn that failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Most people stay stuck because they think there's some perfect moment when they'll be ready. But that moment never comes. The only way you get ready is by moving before you feel ready, by trusting that you'll figure it out along the way, by betting on yourself when no one else does. Every time you do something that scares you financially, asking for the sale, raising your prices, pitching your idea, you chip away at the fear that keeps you broken.